like to call to order the meeting of July 17, 2018. Would you all please stand for the invocation? Pledge allegiance to our flag.
Well, with this courtesy, we'll give our council members to make decisions which will benefit our community and make it a better place to live. Give them courage and faith to carry on their duties. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Everyone have their lights on?
Here. Here. Here.
Here. Noah?
Here.
Blakely?
Here.
Willard?
Here.
Hudson?
Here. You all received the meeting minutes for June 19th. Any comments or questions on those? No, they'll stand as presented. Received the Park Recreation and Cemetery Board meeting minutes from May 21st, as well as the Planning Commission meeting minutes from June 12th and July 10th. Any comments on those? None. We'll move into number 8. Durant, you want to come up? Here in regards to the Christmas parade, right?
Thank you. My name is Paul Rance, Chamber of Commerce, and we'd like to have permission this year to have our annual Christmas parade on November 16th, with light up at 6 o'clock. And before, I spoke to the police chief and see if everything was all right with him last year, and so he can explain himself, but he thought everything was all right. And we just asked the permission to do it again.
It's the same route as last year.
Same route.
The light up was at 6, the parade at 6:30, but...
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I second the motion. Paul's doing a great job.
Yeah.
It's really grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last year we had a lot, somebody else picked him down, he lined every car. We had extra time.
It'll be a good time to ask for a volunteer then.
He won't show up again.
Any questions? A roll call?
Becker?
Yes.
Sauer?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Woodson?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Pat Engel from the R&B Committee here to discuss the July 6th festivities.
First of all, thank you to all of you who came, and most of you did. And thank you. It was a beautiful day. The weather looked down favorably on us, and I think our guests were very, very impressed with Columbiana. I'm sending the following letter to Kimball Firestone, who's chairman of the board of Firestone Foundation. Dear Mr. Firestone, on behalf of the trustees of the Restoration and Beautification Committee of Columbiana, I thank you for your attendance and participation in our celebration of your grandfather, Harvey S. Firestone's 150th birthday anniversary. Your presence for the days, events, and activities made the occasion momentous and special for our committee and for the town of Columbiana. I hope we gave you a full picture of the importance he still maintains in our community. Not only the park and the cemetery, but within the historical society, the restoration of the park project, the impressive projects that Tom Maple is pursuing at Town Center at Firestone Farms, all use the name Firestone with gratitude and pride. As you witnessed in the mural on Main Street in the Common, his achievements continue to give the town an identity and legacy which we treasure. We appreciate your comments at the groundbreaking and the interesting information you shared at the Homestead reception. Your conversation with Bob Troyer offered additional information and insights into the very accomplished, important man Mr. Firestone was and continues to be in our and the country's history. We hope you and your fellow descendants who attended had an enjoyable and inspiring experiences. Many organizations and citizens of Columbiana participated in the event, making it a community endeavor. A list of them is attached. Hoping you will return to Columbiana again this week to continue and complete the restoration of Firestone Park to honor our legacy. The groups that participated, besides restoration and beautification, the city of Columbiana with Lance and all his fellows that worked so hard getting us ready, Legion, the Legion Post 290, Tom Makel out at Town Center, Grace Church, the Blakeman family, the Park Board and the Park staff, the Girl Scouts, the Historical Society, and the Chamber of Commerce, and I hope I haven't forgotten anyone, because it was really a wonderful day to see everybody in the community working together. So we really appreciate it. We have a reception afterwards out at Homestead, and Von Lutzer is going to talk briefly about it.
Good evening, everyone. When we were planning this, and it came about very, very quickly, we had a difficult time coming up with an invitation list for a private reception that we wanted to provide for the Firestone family. And so trying to work with the Chamber of Commerce, their members, as well as various organizations in the community, we were able to come up with 110 invitations to go out to various organizations, representatives of city government, park board, and so on. And we did have a total of 113 people who actually were able to come to the reception. It was a Friday. As a retired person, I now understand that people still have to work and cannot always be at something that happens during the week. But we were thrilled with the opportunity to be able to provide this lovely reception for the family, St. Tom Makel and the Homestead Restaurant. Just a brief rundown of the organizations that were represented at the reception: Restoration and Beautification, the trustees, and there were 6 of us, and 3 of our associates who work with us. The Park, Recreation, and Cemetery Board, there were 4 members of that who were able to come. The city mayor, the city manager. Chamber of Commerce had 4 members. The Community Foundation, 5 members. City Council, 5 members. The Historical Society, 9 members. Columbiana Tourism Bureau, 3 members. Honored guests, we had U.S. Representative Bill Johnson. We had the Ohio State Representative Tim Ginter and 2 county commissioners who came, as well as at least 28 business and community supporters, people who work in business or those who have given us a great deal of support otherwise. But it was a wonderful day. Thank you all for whatever you may have done to help us make this a memorable occasion.
Thank you.
And also, thank you to the Morning Journal and the Daily Life. We've had beautiful coverage.
And Patty Schaefer.
Patty Schaefer, yes, both of them. Wonderful. I took them all and put them in envelopes and sent them to the Firestone family.
Pat, did you have city council in your letter?
Yeah.
You did, okay.
And whenever the reception was done, the family went on the Clipper Day Tripper on a tour through the park, the city. They wanted to see the silo with the Firestone logo on it at Firestone Farms. Then from there, we went over to the test track, and they wanted to see the tractor going over there. Then we went to Main Street. They saw the mural At the same time, the Chamber of Commerce was having the birthday party for First Friday events, and it went off without a hitch. There was a lot of people down on Main Street. They got to visit with some of the Firestone family, and then we went to the Historical Society. I bet we were in there for 45 minutes, an hour. I mean, it was quite a while. And then spent the evening together having dinner. It was a beautiful evening. They were beyond impressed. And I think that it didn't only exceed their expectations. I think that they plan on coming back. So, I didn't put anything in packets, but Pat had called after the event and suggested that we as a city perhaps come up with that day or a day around it on an annual basis to have like a Firestone Day, a reason for the family to maybe come back. And do it around the First Friday type events. So I think it's definitely something that we should consider in doing like a proclamation and doing I just didn't want to do it because I didn't know what day you guys would but I thought it's definitely something that we need to do.
You could use the day that the park opened as Firestone Day. That might be a good day because it's an anniversary of when he made the contribution.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Anyone else have anything to add? If not, we will now have Nicole Ice from Sundog Cellars and Josh Dunn from Birdfish Brewery regarding the due diligence in support of the door that they were asking to bring back.
Good evening. So, in your packets, you will find a letter from the Chamber of Commerce that has blessed us with their unanimous approval to move forward with the DORA on their end. Josh and I coming up is us asking City Council to have Mark Hudson write the language and submit it when it's finished to City Council for reading. I knocked on doors, shook hands, kissed babies, even got out of my walking boots.
Wow.
So, and then Josh had a brilliant idea regarding cups. If you'd like to share with them, Mr. Dunn.
Well, the only one I was ever familiar with in Dora is in Canton, in the Arts District. And I was introduced while visiting Canton Brewing Company. And we were there, and they're like, hey, would you like a beer to go? They offered us a cup, and it's a plastic cup, and I think they charge $1 for the cup itself. And then you pay for the fill for beverages at whatever establishment. But that $1, it's a special Canton City Arts District cup, I believe, and like 70 cents on the dollar goes back to the city. So it's a good, and there's like maybe 20 other establishments in Canton around the Arts District that you can purchase one of those cups and take it on, I don't know if it's a certain night, but it generates money to the city to, I don't know, what's it saying?
It helps to combat the cost of extra trash cleanup or auxiliary help, recycle bins, things like that. So you would not be able to reuse this. It would be something that would be thrown out at the end of the night, and then if they wanted to buy another one the next time we have the event, buy another one. So
the idea that the city would buy these cups and then sell them to
the establishment. So it's a really good way to regulate the whole thing through the city also. We would know how many are being sold, and the money would go immediately right back to you because we'd be buying them from you. The other thing I gave you was the proposed area. You'll see that it goes up to Vine Valley, down South Main to AAA, through the Walnut Alley, and then down East Park to the Birdfish facility. We're allowed to ask for 150 acres, this is 6.5. So, and I think that this pretty much is the only place that it needs to be. And we're just suggesting this as the area. I'd love if you wanna change it, but that's what we came up with, that would work the best for all the businesses, including Main Street businesses. And I spoke to the director of the Canton City Chamber of Commerce today on the phone to ask him about what issues they've come across, and so they had theirs in 2016, is when they got their DORA approved. They had 69 acres, and he told me today that they have had a single incident in Canton. He also said that the whole idea of them bringing it into downtown Canton, into the arts district, was to enhance the vitality and add a new amenity to the downtown area. And he said it's worked beautifully. So our purpose here is to ask you guys to write the language to submit to the state.
I think a lot of the questions that, are out there that aren't answered by this map are people allowed to walk up and down the entire sidewalk?
Yes.
And we're not saying that they have to have a front patio?
No. We're not allowed to have a front patio. We don't, it's owned by the city. So it would be up and down the sidewalk. Or if First Friday wanted to use it, like, the whole purpose is special events only. We're not asking for street fairs, we're asking for special events only. That could be 2 times a year, it could be 10 times a year. So the permit holders would come to city council and ask permission to enact the DORA during that festivity time that they would like to have it.
That's the key, it's all controlled by city council.
All controlled by city council.
If it's out of hand, city council can stop immediately.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Just not ever reissue another day.
Exactly.
right,
I mean, I think other people other than us permit holders could benefit from it too. There was an event, Jacqueline Shell had an event on Main Street.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
wanted to come and request for her, or, First Friday of a benefit, and have Chamber of Commerce or anything like that, that they
Yeah.
could come and, we would benefit as well, but,
Sure.
I mean,
also additionally, the Garden of Eden,
the food truck lot.
Brad and Becky Rance have the most beautiful idea for that space with like hanging vines and lights and like, I don't wanna call it a beer garden because that's not what it is, but that's what it reminds me of, like the beer gardens in Europe, the way that it looks like, it just looks magical, it's like it's gorgeous. So they have plans to do things like that to allow seating and garbage cans and stuff like that.
And I don't see their spots on this map.
Yeah.
They're not highlighted.
Oh, so add another half acre, my apologies.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah, right there,
Right, so that
my
means
mistake.
How
with
was
this,
that?
they'll be able to walk, like if we close Main Street, like how we do for First Friday,
Mhm.
people will be allowed to walk on Main Street or on the street itself with their beer cans or
Yeah.
beer glasses or whatever.
And, from what I understand, even though the west side of the street is dry, with the DORA, it allows you to be able to drink on that side of the street, it just can't be sold or purchased on that side of the street.
The entire street is precinct B. Precinct B is dry. However, the DORA is basically, I hate to use this phrase, but I'm gonna anyways. It's really an exception to open container law. Open container law prevents you from leaving birdfish or sundog walking on the street without one of Chief Gladys's men deciding to arrest you because that's an open container, it's in violation of city ordinance and state law. The DORA is basically an exception to that allows you to leave a permanent premises, walk on the street. You can't walk in another permit premises with the cup from that establishment, but you're able to walk in the street in the area that's defined as the DORA. So whatever the hours are, that's what's permitted. You're permitted to basically walk from one establishment. You can walk to another one, but you can't take that cup in. The liquor laws, and when you start talking about dry and wet, they're really focused on the sale of alcoholic beverages. So if you look at a local auction, which is how you're able to obtain a permit, local auction looks at the sale of alcoholic beverage. And if you look at a petition or a ballot issue, it says, shall the sale of alcoholic beverage, whatever, be permitted whenever, between certain hours. What we're talking about is really consumption. So when you look at local auction, that doesn't even focus on consumption, that focuses on the sale. They have the permits for the sale. Now, their permit would actually, I don't want to call it an addendum, but there is an addition that's added to allow you to actually sell and let people walk outside. Once they're outside, they're in the door. So at that point, we'll call it the outdoor refreshment area. They're able to walk around with that alcoholic beverage. If, for example, Mr. Schwartz would allow them to walk into Generations with that alcoholic beverage, he can do so.
You can walk out of Birdfish and walk into another establishment with it.
That doesn't have a permit.
That doesn't have a permit.
So no one could buy a glass of wine and walk in the Birdfish.
Right.
Does that include like the patio area for Birdfish?
It does.
Thinking of all these questions that people are gonna ask, all the clarification.
Have you talked to any of the vendors or any of the store owners?
So I have.
Sell?
I have, and a lot of them were present at the Chamber of Commerce board meeting. I mean, we talked about like festivals that we could have, and we were talking about doing like a watermelon thing, and Rob Schwartz was like, I wanna make a watermelon coffee. Like, I mean, yes, thank you. No, it was latte, wasn't it? My bad. I only can keep so much in this. So I knocked on all the doors I could. I'm trying to I just wanna make this move forward, however we need to do it.
I would just want to know, with talking to them, are they in favor of it?
It's in here, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Chamber of Commerce board voted unanimously 100%.
Well, I know the Chamber of Commerce did, but I was wondering if there was any.
The people that I did speak to on Main Street are for it.
Are there, I'd really like to see listed specifically.
I'm not gonna give that to you, because I do not want anyone to get the wrath that I have gotten on their business for me doing this. I'm keeping their opinions private. I apologize.
I don't think there's any need to receive that.
I apologize. Like,
I think that, the Chamber of Commerce represents business in Columbiana.
They
And the
represent
letter,
every single business on that street, is every single business on that street a member?
Well, every single business doesn't have to have them come in. Every single business, if they're against it, they can say, you can't come in.
Right.
Fine.
and this is on behalf of the Columbiana Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. We would like to offer this letter of support for the proposed implementation of the DORA project. This proposal brings a new way and idea to increase commerce in the downtown area. The City Council having the ability to approve or deny enactment of the DORA during any specific time, the Chamber is comfortable with endorsing this proposal. And I would also offer that every business in Columbiana is welcome to join the Chamber of Commerce.
Now, your map here does not go west of
no,
Main Street.
there's no need to.
Unless they wanna walk in a business on that side of the street.
So,
If it's my understanding, if you walk out of the Dora district, tell me if I'm wrong.
no, you're right. So,
If you walk out of the Dora district, you're in violation of the open container law.
correct. So, I literally tried to do this on Google Maps, and let me tell you, it is not the easiest thing to do. I'm literally just giving you, like, what we'd like to see, and those should be included also.
But Mark, what you're suggesting is that the door is actually the outdoor street portion, right? Not the indoor building itself, because it's the private property. So this would still give you the cover to walk in between either side of the street, right?
In the process that council would have to go through and the city has to go through, one of the things we submit to the Division of Liquor Control is a street list. And that is basically so that they know what streets are encompassed within the door. So that's really what you're talking about. It's really, the outdoor part is the street and the sidewalk. Now, in some communities, they've basically allowed them to use their patios out front. For example, in Worthington, which all of you have that in your packet, it was allowing some establishments to now have tables set up outside, and they'd be able to actually serve dinner, serve drinks, whatever, in an area that they hadn't been able to before. But here, it's the street.
So you're saying it's the public right-of-way that is the door?
Yes. Not really, it's not the business establishment. You're right, Mr. Sauer. If it were, then you'd pretty much have to extend this to show all of the businesses themselves, but you're really not. And that's why the laws are basically, you know, you can walk into either of these two establishments and buy a drink, you just aren't allowed to walk outside with them. Same with Shellabellas, you can walk out on the porch, but don't step off the porch. So the Dora, now, you're allowed to step off their porch.
So I can purchase a drink at Birdfish and I can walk into, Generation?
Generation Lodge.
Yes.
Is there a requirement, like how we have the no smoking signs, or
There would have to be
requirement?
signage.
I mean,
Part of the process, you know, what the city has to look at, or all of you have to look at, is how to police this with safety, so the police department gets involved. You also have to have signage. Some communities, for example, if you go to the Canton website to look at their door, they've done some really nice signs that establish here's the door, and it's really, you know, they don't look like inexpensive signs. They're professionally done. Nobody just hung it up. It's a permanent sign. So signage is all part of it. It delineates what's in and what's outside.
I bring up concerns, that's what's addressed to me. We have stores on our street that do cater to those that are underage, but that doesn't mean that people of age cannot take their beverages into those stores if they're allowed. How do we make sure that there's not passing of alcohol underneath the table in establishments to underage people?
How do they do it at Shellabellas? How do they do it at, Paul?
Well, but I mean, these are not places that are required to ID you because they're not selling alcohol.
If the store owner is allowing people in while the door is inactive, it's up to them. I mean, they can hang a sign that says that you can't bring alcohol in. It's gonna be up to the store or that establishment, really. I mean, we can't do anything about that.
Who's liable then if, somebody does go into that and they slip a beverage?
I think that's something I totally couldn't answer. I mean,
That's a complicated question, because my understanding is the state law is the parent is allowed to provide alcohol to an underage child. But they can't, their own child, they can't provide it to some other person, or, you know, an older brother can't provide it to a younger brother, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of complications there that would have to be considered. But I think you know, at one point you were talking about wristbands. I like that idea, because if the person has a drink that doesn't have a wristband, that means they did not buy that drink.
right.
And the wristband would be an indication that the venue that sold the drink actually ID the person or check the person.
Right.
Make sure they're
Yeah.
of age.
I forgot to include that.
Yeah.
I apologize. You're right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things like that that I think we need to include. I'm also not totally convinced that this map is exactly right, because there's some things like, City Hall is the only real public restroom that we have included. I think that the door ought to include City Hall, just so that someone can get to the bathroom if they need to use it, and not have to worry about dropping their drink and throwing it out or whatever. I think we need to.
Again, this was
something.
literally me just being like, this is ideal. I mean, there's no way that I could do it, so.
Yeah, this is something that's gonna, this is a starting point. There's a whole list of things in the regulations that we have to go through. This is not something that's gonna happen. This is this is something that we're gonna decide whether or not to pursue it any further.
Right, and that's-
At most tonight.
And that's why we're
And,
here.
yeah, and so if we decide to go forward, then there's a whole bunch of things on that list that we need to get done. Some of them will be decisions made by this council, some of them will be recommendations from Lance or the chief or whoever. But this is not gonna happen overnight. I mean, I can see where this could take us, looking at what the state has to do, what we have to do. It could be next summer, which was the first time this was used.
Right, right, and again, that's why we did the due diligence, so we're just asking for you guys to move forward with what we've given you.
Yeah,
Really.
I think I'd like to see us also contact some of the other organizations. I've talked briefly with a couple of people with the Legion. I know that the ones I talked to are not very much in favor of allowing alcohol at street fair for a lot of reasons, lots of liability reasons and things.
Totally,
And I think